So, new game. And here we have a choice, as you can see here. We've got Neverwinter Nights campaign, Undrentide, Underdark, and the Neverwinter Nights premium modules, which are actually surprisingly good. The Kingmaker one in particular actually won some awards, I think. However, we're going to be playing Shadows of Undrentide. Yes, we are. Chapter 1. Create new character. Boom. Character generation, folks. Here we go. The user interface, by the way, I am playing this in full 1920 by 1080 resolution. However, I've gone into the options and I've picked the upscaled UI option, which makes the user interface absolutely massive and frankly gets in the way a little bit, and I almost didn't use it, but for the fact that the normal user interface is very, very small, which is fine for me on a nice big computer monitor like I'm playing on right now, but I thought I would make a small sacrifice for those of you who I know are watching this right now on a mobile device. Almost half of you, apparently, according to my analytics on the back end, actually do watch my videos on mobile devices. So I thought I would be nice, and I will play in massive I've got something wrong with my eyes edition, so that you guys watching on your phones and your tablets can actually see what's going on, because I'm pretty sure you wouldn't be able to read any of the text if I left it in the default size. So that's just a little disclaimer. That's out of the way. Let's get on with it. Character generation. Here we go. This will be nostalgic. Gender. We're going to be female, because why the hell not? Males of the realms can aspire to any field of activity, from scholarly pursuits to the arts of war. Females of the realms can excel in any field of endeavor, from scholarly pursuits to the arts of war. So no difference there. Right. This, by the way, this game is like all the other D&D CRPGs that I'm aware of, except for Temple of Elemental Evil. This is set in the Forgotten Realms. So if you've read any of the old Drizzt O'Durden books from back in the day, the R.A. Salvatore stuff, you know, that's where this is set. Temple of Elemental Evil, I think, was set in Greyhawk, but I'm not sure. I never really played that game. So, anyway, race. Human! We're going to be human. The choices we have are elf, dwarf, well, human, obviously, elf, dwarf, halfling, gnome, half-elf, half-orc, and just sub-race where you enter your own name and blah. We're going to be human. Favored class, any. When determining whether a multi-class human suffers an XP penalty, his highest level class does not count. Quick to master, 1 extra feat at first level, which is nice. Skilled, 4 extra skill points at first level, plus 1 additional skill point at each following level, also nice. Basically, humans are ambitious and short-lived and flexible, which is great. That's fine. We could play as any of the others. Don't really want to, though. Our portrait. I installed a portrait mod. I forget the name of it. It's on the Steam Workshop. It adds a preposterous number of portraits. I think it's something like 1,300 or so in total. I'm not joking. Hopefully I've put a link in the description so you can go check it out and whatever, but because the default game ships with a limited number of portraits for your characters. And, you know, I just wanted more. I'm more looking for one specific portrait here, and I have no idea where... Aha! I saw it for a second there. Where is it? Where is it? There you are. You. I choose you. Your class? Ladies and gentlemen, I am proud to announce that for the first time on this channel in its entire storied history, I am actually going to be living up to my goddamn username, and I'm going to be playing as a sorcerer. Cue applause. Or gasps, I don't know. We're going to be playing as a sorcerer. For once. Although she's not going to be called Dave, obviously. I mean, I could call her Davina, I suppose, or Devetta, but I'm not going to do that, because that... Well, I actually know a couple of people in real life called Davina and Devetta, and that would just be really weird. So, we're going to be playing as a sorcerer, which is obviously a magic user. For those of you who are vaguely familiar with D&D and you're wondering what's the difference between a wizard and a sorcerer, wizards get more spells, but don't get to cast them as often. Sorcerers get fewer spells, but they get to cast them more often. They don't have to prepare them in advance, and therefore that makes them a lot more flexible, because they can just throw any old spell they like at anything at any given time, as many times as they like, within a certain limit per level, you know. Which makes them very flexible, which is great. I actually prefer sorcerers to wizards, generally speaking. They're my favourite sort of arcane magic class, although I believe in 5th edition now arcane magic is not even a thing anymore. Like, there's no distinction between arcane and divine magic, but I'm just babbling around useless crap right now. Sorcerers are arcane spellcasters who manipulate magic energy with imagination and talent rather than studious discipline. By this, it means sorcerers do not rely on intelligence to cast their spells like wizards do. They rely on their own natural charisma. So if you are the sort of person who enjoys the idea of faking it until you make it, play a sorcerer. Because sorcerers don't need to be smart. They just need to have charisma. They have no books, no mentors, no theories, just raw power that they direct at will. Sorcerers know fewer spells than wizards do and acquire them more slowly, but they can cast individual spells more often and have no need to prepare their incantations ahead of time. Also, unlike wizards, sorcerers cannot specialize in a school of magic. Since sorcerers gain their powers without undergoing the years of rigorous study that wizards go through, they have more time to learn fighting skills and are proficient with simple weapons. Warning! To cast a spell, a sorcerer must have a charisma score of 10 plus the spell's level. So if you make a sorcerer with a charisma of 10, you are going to be the world's worst sorcerer ever. For example, to cast a 9th level spell, a sorcerer must have a charisma of 19. Cripes, that's high. Hit die has a D4. That's a 4-sided dice. That's how much hit points we get per level up, which is very low. Sorcerers are just as squishy as wizards in this regard, but they do have proficiencies with all simple weapons. They're not proficient with armor or shields, and it's just as well because wearing armor causes their spells to fail. Their skill points are times 4 splat 4 at first level, 2 plus intelligence modifier. Whatever. We get skill points. It's great. Spellcasting is arcane, charisma based. No spell preparation. Spell failure from armor is a factor. Brilliant. Although, hang on a minute. Just one second here. It didn't give me a package. Oh, it'll do packages later. Okay, that's why. I was all confused there. Our alignment will be chaotic good. A chaotic good character acts as his conscience directs him with little regard for what others expect. He believes in goodness and right, but has little use for laws and regulations. He follows his own moral compass, which, although good, may not agree with that of society. A ranger who waylays the evil baron's tax collectors is chaotic good. Chaotic good combines a good heart with a free spirit. Perfect for a sorcerer, I think. Our abilities. Right, here are our ability scores. I'm going to start by bumping everything up to 10 so I don't have any minuses. And then putting... I'm going to bump that up to 16 for now. It'll give us a +3 on the charisma. And then I will put a bit into constitution, a bit into dexterity. I can't get that to 18. That's annoying. I can get up to 17 though. If I keep it at 16, I can put a couple of points into intelligence, and that would give me a +1 to intelligence, which would give me more skill points to spend. 1 more skill point to spend. Is it worth it? I don't know. I actually have 2 remaining points after having done that, so I can actually pop it to +2 if I wanted to. Huh. That's an interesting option. I'm going to, actually, because the thing about Neverwinter Nights is, unlike the other D&D CRPGs, you don't have a very big party. It's typically your character plus 1 other AI companion, which means that you need to be a little bit more flexible than your average party member in Dungeons & Dragons would be. So actually, I feel this is probably a good choice. I may be completely wrong, however. Our strength will remain at 10. Dexterity 12, that'll give us a +1, which is not much, but hey, it'll help us maybe not die quite so often. I don't know. Probably won't help at all, actually. Never mind. Whatever. We're getting hit as a sorcerer. We're doing something wrong in the first place. Constitution will get a +2 because it's 14. That'll give us a little bit more health. Wisdom. Who needs a wisdom, right, when you're a sorcerer? Wisdom. Intelligence, 14 for +2. So we're a smart cookie. That gives us some more skill points to spend. And we're charisma, 16. Means I would, in order to be able to cast 9th level spells, have to increase my charisma another 3 times as we level up. But we have to be pretty high level to get 9th level spells, to be fair, so I don't think that's going to be a problem. Just as I level up through the game, I must remember to put my points into charisma basically every single time. Making all sorts of mistakes already. I'm sure the comments are going to be full of, "What are you doing? No! You're making the worst character ever!" Never mind. Configure package. Right. So, we have class skills and we have all the other skills. Other skills cost 2 points. Class skills cost 1 point. That's the basic way it works. We've got 20 points to play with, which is nice. So we're going to put some points in Spellcraft, which will allow us to identify spells that are being cast against us. We'll put lots of points into the lore. We'll put... let's see, none of the crafting ones, because that's rubbish. Put some points into concentration. What else have we got here? Persuade. Oh yeah, I want to be able to persuade people, that's for sure. I can only increase it to 2 as well. I'd be able to bring it up to 4 if it was a class skill, but it's not. And I'm also going to put some points into Open Lock. That gives us 4 left over to play with. I could put some into Bluff. Don't think I'll bother though. Persuade's good enough for me. I'm the sort of guy who likes to be able to talk his way through an RPG if at all possible, instead of fighting his way through it. So Bluff would be nice, but I don't think I'm going to do it. I could put some points into Heal. With this skill, the character can use a healing kit to cure wounds and heal poisons and diseases. Of limited use, on account of the fact that you can just rest any time you like in this game to restore your health. However, healing poisons and diseases would actually be pretty good. I'm going to put a point in it. That leaves me with 3 left over. I'm going to buff concentration up to the maximum I can give it at first level. And I think I will chuck an extra point into... Ooh. Can't increase lore any further. I'm going to put it in... Spellcraft, why not? Used to identify spells and to perform counter spells. Indeed. And now feats. We get to choose 2, because we get 1 extra for being human, which is great. We've already got... Well, the mount thing, that won't come into effect in this at all, because there aren't any mounts in this campaign. Quick to master, extra feat, because we're human. Summon a familiar, because we're a sorcerer, or a wizard, which means we get to summon a familiar, a little animal companion. And we have a weapon proficiency simple. So I'm going to go with the following. Combat casting. The character is adept at casting spells in combat and does not suffer the standard -4 penalty to concentration checks when casting defensively within 4 meters of an enemy. Basically, if someone punches me in the face while I'm trying to cast a spell, I won't have quite nearly so much of a penalty. We're going to get punched in the face while trying to cast spells fairly often, unfortunately. So, I could also now take a couple of other things. I could take dodge. Oh, it's got to dodge. It's around here somewhere. Dodge. Whatever, it's here somewhere. However, I'm going to take a different one. Where is it? There it is. Silver Palm. You may only take this feat at first level. This is why I'm taking it now. And the specifics of it are that the character gains a +2 bonus on appraise and persuade checks. Which is nice. It'll bring me effectively, I'll bring my persuade up to like 4. This is a +2. So that's nice. And appraisal is also useful. I didn't put any points in appraisal. But appraisal is for basically determining whether or not a merchant likes you or not. Because that'll determine what prices you get from them. So I'm going to take Silver Palm because I can only take it at first level. Once we're gone past first level, Silver Palm is gone to us. Like it just doesn't exist anymore. So we can never take it. So I'm going to take that bonus right now, so that I get my +2 bonus to persuade on top of my 2 points of persuade I already put into my skills at the start. And we'll have combat casting as well. There are probably other very good options to choose from there. Those are the ones I'm going to go with, though. Moving on. Spells! So we have our level 0 spells, our cantrips. I'm going to pick Ray of Frost, Light, Daze, and... Cantrips are so terrible. They're such really crappy spells. This hardly matters at all. But I will take Resistance, I guess. Now, level 1 spells. These are spells that are actually useful. We're going to take these two, Sleep and Summon Creature 1. Summon Creature 1 is going to be very useful because it will allow us to summon a little animal thing that can annoy our enemies and prevent them from coming to punch me in the face, because our character is going to be very fragile being a sorcerer. And Sleep, because Sleep is wonderful. It causes 4 plus 1d4 hit dice of creatures to fall into a comatose slumber, beginning with those with the fewest hit dice. Creatures with 5 or more hit dice are unaffected. Basically, this means if we get faced with a whole bunch of little gribblies, I can put them all to sleep and we can just kill them very easily. We can just stab them as they are sleeping, as they're having a little snooze there. It will completely trivialize, hopefully, any encounters with lots of low-level enemies. There are plenty of other good options. There's things like Scare, Shield, Color Spray. Color Spray is a pretty good one, to be fair. Loads of other things. Burning Hands, Charm Person, Magic Missile. There it is, Magic Missile's in there as well. Magic Missile's a fun one. That's one that scales up quite nicely going forward, and I think next time we level up, I probably will grab Magic Missile. But for now, I'm going to go with these two. Summon Creature and Sleep, because they work. They're good spells. If we come up against anything that's sort of quite an individual powerful creature, we might have some issues early on, but hopefully before that ever happens, we'll get a level up in the bag and we can get something else to deal with that. So anyway, now we pick our animal companion, our familiar. We can have a bat, a panther, a hellhound, an imp, a fire mephit, an ice mephit, a pixie, a raven, a fairy dragon, a pseudo-dragon, or an eyeball. I am going to pick the panther. Yes, I am. Pele, really. Footballing panther. No. His name's going to be Colin. I could generate a name from a list, but I'm not going to. He is technically a rogue, actually. Apparently. This is Colin. He's technically a rogue. He has strength 16, dexterity 19, constitution 9, intelligence 13, wisdom 12, charisma 6. He has 9 hit points and an armor class of 9. He's a familiar, which means he's very weak. He's not like a druid's animal companion, or a ranger's animal companion. Those are quite different altogether. A familiar is sort of quite weak and what have you. However, the panther's quite useful because he's very stealthy, and we can use him to scout ahead if needs be and spot things, which is nice, and he can remain hidden, which is pretty cool as well. So I'm going to go with the panther. I think he's a good choice, personally. He has a -2 to bluff. He's not very good at lying, apparently. He has 9 ranks of hide, though. And I believe he will level up a little bit as we level up, too, so maybe. I may be confusing that with druid animal companions, though. A -2 to intimidate. Why does a panther have -2 to intimidate? I think a panther's pretty intimidating, personally, but hey, whatever. 6 listen, 9 move silently, 4 parry, -2 persuade, -2 to taunt, and he has 6 search and 6 spot, which is very good, which means we can use old Colin here to spot traps and things, in addition to sneaking around in the dark, in the shadows in front of us. He's also got evasion, sneak attack, weapon finesse, weapon proficiency, creature, and so on and so forth. I will occasionally probably be using him to tank enemies, to be honest with you, even though that's a purpose to which he's not really suited whatsoever. However, what I can do as well is make him hide and then sneak attack people for an extra 1d6 damage, which is pretty good for a familiar. It's not bad. You know, I could pick a bloody bird and it would be mostly useless. So, yeah, there we go. Colin the Panther it is. And now we hit customize. And now we basically adjust what our character looks like in 3D. We're going to pick... basically, we want this to match the portrait, effectively. So we're going to pick that hair. And that hair colour. And the clothing. Normally this wouldn't matter. But because we're a sorcerer, we don't wear any armour. We're going to be effectively wearing the same clothes for the entire game. So I think we'll go with that. We could go with something completely absurd like that. But judging by her portrait, she's not the flamboyant type, really. She's a very practical sort of looking gal. So then we'll go with that.
At my command, attack!
Oh my! Choose a voice set.
To the fight! Give no quarter!
No, I don't think so.
To the fight!
You have to fight!
Oh, God, no.
At the enemy!
At their throats, cut them down. Step up to the fight. Bring them down.
Maybe.
I hope you like pain. I'll put you in your place. I always get my way.
That's a strong candidate.
All right, I says you attack right now!
No.
Kill them! Kill them all!
No.
Get him! Think you can take me? Bring it on.
Maybe.
Get ready to be beaten by a girl.
Come on, it's time to take out the trash.
No.
All right, crew. Let's take them down. There's more where that came from. This is too easy.
Maybe.
We have no choice. Surrender, or prepare to meet your end.
No.
No time for talking. Let's get to the action.
Too annoying.
Some fights cannot be avoided. Into the fray!
No.
To arms! To battle! Feel my sting! I will not be defeated!
Yeah.
Follow me. Take that!
No. I'm gonna go with...
Step up to the fight. I hope you like pain. I'll put you in your place.
Yeah, I think that one. Right. And, there's the basic bio. We can edit this. LOL bio text. Woo! However, and we could just hit generate name a bajillion times. I'm not going to do that, though. We already have a name. I picked one out previously. Here's in Blue Peter fashion, ladies and gentlemen. Here's one I made earlier. She's going to be called Vera. She's 23, and her last name will be Blake. She's Vera Blake. We could even enter a deity. Off the top of my head, I can't remember what most of the deities in the Forgotten Realms are, so I'm going to leave it blank. It has virtually no effect whatsoever on the game. Unlike Neverwinter Nights 2, in which picking a deity does have an effect on the game, sort of. However, we're not playing Neverwinter Nights 2. That's another game for another day, folks. Another game I'm quite fond of, though. But anyway, there we go. There she is, Vera Blake, a human, chaotic good sorcerer. With terrible strength, fairly rubbish dexterity, okay constitution, okay intelligence, rubbish wisdom, and bags of charisma. And this is all her other stuff. She has an armor class of 11, which is terrible. 6 hit points, a whole 6 hit points. She will probably be killed by a single kobold, if we let it. And she's 15 points chaotic and good 85 points, apparently. That can change a bit during your playthrough, actually. That is dynamic. It's not really important for anyone except for paladins, though, who lose their abilities if they stray too far from lawful good. Good thing we're not playing a paladin. I don't think I've ever played a paladin in any of these games. It's just too dull. Anyway. And then here's some other stuff. There's her skills. There's her feats. And there's her spells. Let's go. Also, this cutscene is going to be very loud. And hopefully I remember to turn down the volume in editing. Otherwise, I'm sorry, your speakers are now dead. Or your eardrums if you're using earphones.